Welcome back to Metropole Television. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. This is the Metropole Review, therefore on Business I Am. The question that we are asking is, which headlines are you waking up to this morning and how do they affect you? All right, in studio, Abraham Muthogo. You know him. All right, so that means it's time for us to cross over and go straight to the first headline this morning. Now, we woke up to news that the ban on betting ads suspended. I want us to rush through this topic before we talk about the major issue today. The question that we're asking, is the government gambling on its policies around betting?
I think it was about 2 weeks ago we spoke about this here. And remember what I said was, to me, there's nothing special about the betting industry. I think we've gone through this with the alcohol industry and with the cigarette industry. 10, 15, 20 years ago, this was the scenario where they would run ads when they felt like, they would say whatever they wanted to say, and it had its own problems. Now, the government had to come in and control how they produce it, how they market it, when they air, exactly the kind of measures that they put today. So my thinking is that, despite the fact that yes, there's a court order stopping it, I think they're simply delaying their pain. It is going to happen.
Yes.
Because I think responsible betting must come in.
Yes.
There are no trees about it.
And when you look at the way the government is trying to address this issue, we listened to Matiang'i yesterday that
Yes.
all the business owners of betting companies without certificates or business permits in the country are going to be deported. Are we looking at it from a reactionary point of view, where we, as opposed to sitting down and then approaching this issue in a pragmatic, sort of economical sense? Should that be the way that we should be approaching this?
For now, it's true that the tempers are flaring from both sides. The betting companies think that the government is being unfair on them. The government on the other side is saying the things that they are saying, like what Matiang'i has said. But I think eventually the tempers will cool down and people will sit. And I can bet you the same solution that we got with the cigarette and with the alcohol is what is going to happen. They will have to work within a certain framework. And the elephant in the room is not even the advertising, it's the tax. They have to come up with how are they going to tax this industry.
All right.
Yes.
So I just want us to cross over to the next issue that Kenyans are waking up to today: housing levy orders extended. Kenyans expected a proper ruling, and we didn't get the ruling.
No.
So we just have been given a date again to wait up to May 27th. What does this leave the Big Four agenda that the government is trying to push? Because they only have 2 years, and any extension or any delay on their plans means that they're hampering the plans for the Big Four agenda. Where does this leave the Big Four agenda?
You see, one, look at what has happened. There were 5 different cases on this issue. And what the Honorable Judge did, he has consolidated them. And given I mentioned it, but now they can set when they are going to hear them, because the Federation of FKE was in, COFEC was in, COTU was in. So you see all the players, the employee and employer and the consumers, all the 3 parties are against the housing levy. And remember, again, we discussed this here, that maybe this is not the best way to do whatever we want to do. Achieving housing is not a bad thing. But the way we are going, we may have to look for a plan B. We may have to probably just sit down and say, maybe this was not the right way to do this. Let's find another way of doing it.
Yes.
And I foresee us going there. Because once this court process starts, the hearing begins, and the issues start popping up, that's when now mostly you'll find that they may have to pull it out of court.
Yes.
And have a sober sit down. Because you can see there's COFEC for the consumers, FKE for the employers, and COTU for the employees.
Yes.
So the only party, and on the other side is the government. So if those 4 parties sat in a room, then probably we may come up with something.
Yes. And so when you look at it, because the Jubilee government wants to deliver 500,000 housing units just before they step out of the government, and so when you look at these talks and the extensions and all that, is that going to make them change the number, because this is time bound?
You see, I think we're looking at it the wrong way. These houses don't have to be delivered by government.
Yes.
there are certain policy interventions that can be put in place, and we can actually still achieve them.
Yes.
And those policy interventions will be around tax, the tax regime, and the cost of doing business, especially the cost of power
Yes.
and the cost of inputs. If those are addressed, and then last but not least, the approval regime for putting up
Yes.
a house. If those are addressed, then the private sector, you don't even need to call them. They'll come in from all directions, and you'll put up those houses very fast.
Yes. All right, I just want us to cross over therefore to the next one as we wait for May 27th and see exactly what ruling the court is going to make on this. Now, importation of used car parts banned by KEBS. This is a law that has hit the Kenyan market again and entrepreneurs. Just the other day now, we have stricter rules on counterfeit products in the country. People talking about the death of main streets in the CBD, the likes of Lidhuli Avenue and downtown markets. They're close to getting locked up. Now, Kenyans again woke up yesterday by KEBS saying, look, the importation of used car parts has been banned by KEBS. So now, the Dubai markets where Kenyans have been going to get these products from, and also China markets where the Kenyans have also been going to get these products from, are getting closed, which is a close link to the rule also the government wants to push by saying for you to get a car into Kenya, it has to be 5 years from 8 years. These policies that keep on getting introduced from time to time, should they go through a proper channel first before they're pushed to Kenyans? Because we do know that most Kenyans rely on this.
It's true. You see, if you look at that ban, it has actually gone to the specifics of certain parts
Yes.
that cannot be brought in. That already brings its own problems. That means you have to look at a part and decide whether is this a tie rod or it's not, and then put it aside. That's number one. Number two, if you're banning second-hand spare parts, but you're not banning second-hand cars. So you're telling me to put a new part into an old car. You see, there's a problem there.
There's already a clash.
Now, even more scary is that, you see, everything is driven by demand. The demand for second-hand parts will not die because there's been a policy.
Yes.
If anything, it creates a black market for it. Now, for you to continue getting those parts, the only source of now those parts will only be two. One, salvage cars.
Yes.
Two, stolen cars. So some of these policy interventions, sometimes it's good to think them a bit more, because what is the harm of bringing in second-hand parts?
Yes, which is my next question.
What are we saving?
Yes, someone was asking me the next question is that what are we saving? Does Kenya produce car
Yeah,
parts?
precisely. So who are we saving? Yeah, who you see, those kind of policies are normally done to protect a local industry. We don't produce parts here.
Yes.
So what is this policy intervention? What is the desired outcome? That's not clear even to me.
And so should this be challenged in your view?
I don't think it will stand. I think even just going to court, even from practical perspective, it will not stand. The same way when they are trying to do the 5-year, even that has not worked, and they've taken a step back.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just cross over to the next one that we're waking up to this morning. 24 global hotels want to enter Kenya over the next 4 years, which is a very, very good headline for Kenyans when we look at it in terms of the economy. But now, the question is, what have we been doing good since 2018 that has kept on attracting these investors into the country? And what should we do to sort of sustain this mood of drawing in investors into this country?
Okay. For the record, my last job before I went private was I used to work for an organization that the government arm that funds the tourism sector.
Yes.
So, if you step back from around 2013, the government then hosted an event, the African Hotel Investment Forum here in Nairobi, and what that event did, it showcased Kenya as a tourist investment destination. And all the top brands came. You'll notice, if you look at your record, prior to 2013, probably the big brands used to hear about here were Intercon and the Hilton.
Yes.
Which were again brought by government in 1969. But after that event was held in 13 and 14, what happened now, the brands became aware of Kenya. Now, after that, you'll see an exponential growth of brands. Now in Kenya, it's a question of which brand is not here.
Yes.
So that is one. That is on supply side of the hotel. On the demand side of Kenya, remember, tourism is the only export that is consumed in the country of origin. Unlike coffee, you have to send it out.
Yes.
But tourism, you have to come here to consume it, although it's an export. Because tourism thrives, one, you have to have the product. Kenya is spoiled for choice for
Yes.
what the kind of tourism products that are on offer. But more importantly, it thrives in a stable environment. I think the last 2 years we've moved from very turbulent position. Now we are perceived as a stable place.
Yes.
So people like our product, no doubt about it.
Yes.
But you'll only go to a place where you feel safe. So now we have got good brands here. So the brands know that. They know that the outlook is very positive. The outlook for the product is there, and then best of all, the human capital. If you travel around the world, most likely you're most likely going to be served or be in a hotel where the manager is Kenya.
Yes.
Our capacity for tourism staff is I think top of the range.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So I just want us to hold there as we cross over to the next issue, which forms the basis of our conversation this morning. I want us to dwell on this topic. Now, NIC Bank, loan for small businesses. Now, they've acquired a 516 million shillings loan to go to small businesses in the country. Now, I want us to tie this topic to a press release yesterday that was termed a revolution in the financing of SMEs yesterday. Now, Patrick Njoroge, the governor's central bank, has called together 5 banks, including Cooperative Bank, KCB Bank, Diamond Trust Bank, and NIC Bank, yes, which is why this headline now is here, to come up together and come up with a loan offering that stands at below double digits to go to small, medium enterprises in the country. Now, I just want us to start from the basic level. Just the other day, Patrick Njoroge was threatening some of these bank CEOs that if you don't give these banks, SMEs, these entrepreneurs loans, you're going to get arrested. Is this a good turnaround from his threat of invoking the Banking Act?
You remember, we discussed this with you the other day, and I told you, policy is either a stick or a carrot.
Yes.
That time he used a stick, this time he's going the carrot way. Now, you remember that time we were discussing, we said, if the banks, there's a vacuum. If the banks don't occupy that space, somebody else will.
Yes.
And thank God, they have gone in before somebody else did.
Yes.
Now, it's pilot. Those 5 banks and CBK is behind it.
Yes.
9% is a very good rate. Very, very, very good rate for starters. Now, the question also begs, what has taken so long for us to do this? But thank God we are doing it now.
Yes.
Now, if we do this right, several things are going to happen. One, the SME as an industry, they'll start feeling this money and it will start growing.
Yes.
More importantly, the proliferation of loan sharks in the name of loan apps that are lending at almost 100%, 120, those will have no choice that either shut down or come down to this price. You remember what I told you, that in a market where there's scarcity, people don't care about price.
Yes.
Now, this move, what it does is that it increases the supply of credit to a point where now access will not be a problem. Now, and then that immediately, the focus will immediately shift to price. People now will move away from I'll not name names, from those ones that charge exorbitant to these ones.
To these ones.
Yes.
But which sort of begs the next question.
Yes.
You and me know that microfinance companies in the country have not been performing well over a couple of years. And point being, they've been getting a lot of competition from these loan mobile applications that are actually lending to small, medium enterprises in the country. Actually, in the whole of 2018, some of those that posted their results, that's competitive results of 2018, only 2 posted profits, that Faulo and Sumac. All right, which shows you there was a shift, isn't it? And so the question that therefore needs to be answered, is this not another microfinance sort of operation that's getting pushed to these medium, small businesses in the country? Is it not? And what makes it different therefore?
You see, the biggest difference here is that you have big boys or girls, if you like. Don't forget, for you to lend, you have to raise. You either have to have raised deposits, or you're lending your own capital, and that's why the microfinance are having a problem. They're not able to raise deposits. You can raise deposits, but at what price? You see, so where you have a situation like I don't know if you saw it yesterday. Housing finance are running a loan that is at 18.5%. Now, if your loan is at 18.5, how much do you lend it at? You can't even lend it in this market because of the law. So now, take an example of KCB. The deposits they have, lending to this market is not a problem. Because you see, they're able to raise their deposits at a much cheaper price. Because they have the infrastructure to raise deposits. But the challenge you've been having is the stock of the deposits to lend and the price at which those deposits come at.
And the price at which
now those two now are being the game changer here is that the stock is increasing dramatically and the price at which those deposits are coming at is lower. And if you read that circular, there is an implication just that there may be some arrangement between the central bank and this particular 5 banks.
And this particular 5 banks. So I want to ask you a question about when you really look critically at what the World Bank of Kenya has done in 2015, they did a survey in the country and said, what are the most challenges that are faced by SMEs? Deloitte Kenya also did the same survey. They said, look, we have no way of knowing the credit requirements of our businesses in the country. Therefore, we don't have a way to sort of access that too. And I want you to look at what Njoroge said yesterday, that these are the people who have no time to even open a bank account. So when you look at that, when you're approaching these people with this product, because the people need money now and use it now and refund it, is this way, is this model really good for them?
In fact, I think you got it right. There is a desire to do whatever we want to do. But the how, we have to think a bit further. Number one, you know when you say SMEs, some are formal, most are informal. That's why you talk about people who don't have bank accounts.
People who don't have bank accounts.
Why? Some of them by design, some of them who can't. Now, we have to come up with a model and tools that can be able to tell if this person is good or not good. How do we do that? We have to move away from the standard way of doing things and looking at our client, who is the guy who hardly keeps records. So we have to find a way of identifying. Like, for example, you'll find a good number of lenders now will ask you for your M-Pesa statement. Because they know standard, you must be transacting.
You must be transacting.
It's a good way of finding out. So we have to find other tools of finding out whether this person is good or not good. And what that will do, it will pull out SMEs from the woodwork. People who have been hiding will be able to come up because now they'll be like, yes, something has come up, and this tool and this finance has come with tools that actually understand our business. Because you see, it is a proverb you cannot tell a fish to climb a tree. No matter how much you do.
Okay, last question on this before we just close this conversation this morning. They've said they're rolling out in 2 tranches. First, 500, and then the next one is going to be 10,000 before they can actually say, now we do have the data. Do you think that's a good approach? Or they should have first gone into deeper research and study about what this means? And I want to ask you the question, they went straight to Gikomba market. Is that a good place for them to do their study from?
Yeah, the Gikomba market is a good place. So, you know, sometimes the problems we face is sometimes we overplan. And maybe this is the right approach. Sometimes it's good to dive. And sort yourself as you go. You remember, like when Mzekibaki became president, they had promised free primary education. And the elections were in December. He was sworn in end of December and January. And they said, bring them in. We don't know what we're going to do with them, but we have said it. And they came in, and sure enough, we have free primary education. So sometimes the best data they can get is by getting into it.
Yes.
Don't forget, these are seasoned banks, and maybe that's why they were chosen. So they also have their own tools. So I foresee what will happen is initially the tools will be stricter, and as you go along, they'll continue changing their model as the data comes
As
in.
the data
Don't
comes.
forget now, with artificial intelligence and data science, it's very easy to develop algorithms that are intelligent, that keep metamorphosing as the data comes in. So with the kind of data we have, with the kind of sharing of data between government and banks, it's very easy to come up with a model
Yes.
that works. Yes.
Last question on this. I just want one response from you as we close this. How should mobile loans react to this news?
Mobile loans, I think for them, let them. I don't see them being affected much. To be quite honest,
Yes.
because as I'm saying, the
Yes.
market is very huge.
It's very huge.
Yes.
All right. That is Abraham. Next, we are going to call him back to the studio as we crisscross the Big Four agenda with some of the top 4 minds in this country. Stay for that on Business AM. We take a short break, but what I know is that Stephanie Wanso is coming back to show you exactly how your votes look from the last time she was here at around 7:30 in the morning. Business AM takes a short break.